You're happy and you know it. Clap your hands. Big up to my good vibes, you see me. Make sure you are showing up for yourself and loving yourself to infinity and beyond. Now let us get into the video. Indeed we shall. Pay a like, pay a comment, pay a sub, pay attention. Let's get it.
The ancestors just said to me to tell you, stop asking for things. Stop asking for things. You have to command your new reality. You have to command your new reality. Ashe. I want you right now, wherever you at around the world, I want you to put your hand to the screen right now and say, I command. Oh, man. Say, I command. Oh, man. Say, I command a new reality. I command unexpected money. I command a healing in my body. I command for all things around me to come in order. I command. This is not an asking situation. I command my reality. And when you command your reality, the heavens got to open up on your behalf. Ashe-o! Ashe-o! Who am I talking to right now? Listen, I need for you to send this video.
Okay, so you are supposed to command the things that you want to happen for you. He was a little dramatic about it though, but he was right.
Spirituality, nobody can teach it to you. You need to get the fundamentals of any books, any spiritual system. You can get the fundamentals and then look at inside of you and then determine how you are going to use the fundamental principles to improve your life. But nobody can tell you, you must pray every Friday, you must do this every Saturday, you must do that every Sunday. No. Because what is good for you is not necessarily what I need. You may need to go into yourself and meditate 100 times a day. And even the same person will not need it the same way all the time. You in certain circumstances, you need to be meditating and finding all your forces, gathering all your forces continuously certain days. And then other days you may not even think about it. It doesn't mean you don't pray. Because everything you say, if you're living your own life, if you are who you are, and you know who you are, and you live working towards realizing your mission in life, every sound of it out of your mouth is a prayer. Every gesture you make is a prayer. Every dance you dance is a prayer. And when you make love with somebody, you are praying. If you know who you are, and this person knows who they are.
That's right. That's right.
There isn't anything that you do that is not a prayer. When you know who you are.
It's not a color, it's a frequency. It's a God frequency. They know that you are God, my brother. What they call God. They know that's who you are. See? That's why even when this person, when they say name Jesus, what did he tell his disciples? The kingdom is within you. He's telling you God is within you. So you're looking for a place up in the sky that you're going to go to. No, God is within you. They're telling you about this devil. Who is devil? You ever seen one? No, you can be a devil and you can be a God. Because you decide. You are the one who determine if I do wrong or I do right. You are the duality that decides. Not a person standing on your right shoulder or your left shoulder. That is all a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my French. But what I'm saying to you is, we have to come into ourselves.
What y'all think about that? We all do have a good and bad side to us. Yeah, you gotta choose. You gotta choose which one you want at certain times. So if it's sometimes you might get the, you might get the jack in the box if you mess with me the wrong way. Just like everybody else. There is something that wakes up in all of us when we feel like we're being wronged or mistreated or disrespected. So I agree with that.
Let's talk soul contracts. So a soul contract is an agreement that you make with literally any person that you interact with on this earthly plane. That's how mystical the world is. Anybody that you're interacting with at this particular time, or that you have ever interacted with, you were destined to do so because you had some kind of agreement with that person. A lot of times we are here to work out different karmic lessons with each other. And before we incarnate, we do agree to a list of contracts and agreements that we're going to have with different people, even different institutions, before we arrive earthside. And so it would really behoove us to know what those contracts are all about. It kind of makes sense though, right? As above, so below. If we think about any purchase that we make on planet Earth, any large decision that we make on planet Earth, there's always a contract attached to it, right? So why wouldn't it be the same when it comes to our lives? Now, we are master creator beings. We can take charge of our destiny at any point in time. However, we do need to know about the contracts and agreements that we're already committed to before we can change the terms and conditions of those agreements. This is why it's really important to have access to your Akashic records, which gives you access to your past life interactions, some of the lessons that you're contracted to learn on this planet at this time, because that'll give you some major insight into different soul contracts that you have. And, you know, if you have some issues with a certain person, then you'll understand more about what this person is actually here to teach you. And you can always change a contract now. You don't have to grin and bear it. If there's something that you're not liking, you can make tweaks and you can change things. But if you don't have the original contract, how are you going to make those changes? And so what might happen is that you will keep fighting a relationship. You'll keep fighting a particular dynamic that you have with a person in your life. But on some level, you consented to that dynamic with that person. So a lot won't change until you actually change the agreement and change the contract.
I bet you didn't know this. What if I told you that before you were born, you made an agreement called the soul contract, a contract that outlines your life's journey, challenges, and relationships. These soul contracts are stored within the Akashic records, the cosmic library that contains everything that has happened in the past, is happening in the present, or will happen in the future. Imagine an entire blueprint of your life, crafted with the wisdom of your higher dimensional self. A blueprint that details all the lessons you need to learn, the people you will meet, and the experiences you must undergo to fulfill your soul's purpose. A roadmap designed for your spiritual evolution, guiding you towards growth and enlightenment. But there is even more. These contracts often include karmic relationships, those souls you've encountered in past lives with unfinished business to resolve. The challenges you face are not random. They're deliberate choices to foster growth, resilience, and wisdom. Accessing the Akashic records can reveal these soul contracts, providing insight into life's purpose. Through specific meditation and spiritual practices, this repository can be accessed. What do you think your soul contract would say?
So about these soul contracts, I have many messengers that come into my life and they assist me on certain things. Like they might tell me something and I may not, I might not be like receptive to that message at that moment, but I always end up looking back and being like, dang, now I'm doing exactly what they suggested, and it's crazy. Has anybody had that experience?
In the Hebrew mythology, the return of Lilith. Lilith is supposed to be the chief demon that didn't want to lay down with Adam. Chandler was talking about. But they also tell you in the Lilith book by Barbara Black Couture, and also in Raphael Pate's book, Hebrew Goddess, that Lilith is supposed to take her seat on the right hand of God. Now in the Kabbalistic text, they say it's about what? They say that the whole shit, the whole Kabbalah is based on the return of the Shekinah, the feminine energy. This is the Kabbalistic text. Gershom Scholem, which is the chief authority on Kabbalistic out of Tel Aviv, died in 1982. They say, well, what's all this Kabbalistic and this Kabbalah stuff? What does it all mean? What's going to happen? He said, ultimately, all this shit is going to turn back into chaos. And chaos is the realm of the great mother. Chaos rules. Chaos is supreme. You see? That's so the feminine principle is chaos. And if you keep it up hard enough, long enough, you can stir up the damn chaos. Now, so it is the Shakti power. So he failed to realize, he talked about Osiris, and he talked about.
So a while ago, when I was looking stuff up, like as I do, I came across this information that there is supposed to be a God of Chaos asteroid that's supposed to be flying by Earth in 2029. Like, y'all can look it up. Tell me what you think about that. You think he's like referring to that, or?
Listen, stop playing with people who have spiritual gifts. Stop playing with people who have a knack for intuition. Stop playing with people who have a knack for knowing, where God has employed some part of them, where they see it in their dreams, they smell it, they sense it, they visualize it, they know what they know, they can hear it in your voice, they watch your body language, they ask you questions just to gauge whether it is or not you are being honest. So I'll say, and I'll reiterate again, stop playing with people who have spiritual intuition and connections, who know their body, who knows their mind, who knows what they see, and who sees you. It is best that you are honest and forefront with the people that God has aligned in your life, because they are there to help you along, not hinder you. Just be honest with people who have spiritual gifts. That's it.
Listen, I have lived this, so don't come from my neck. This is my personal experience. You go to God about what you're doing, okay? Let me just start off by saying this. There cannot be two gods in your life. You cannot serve two masters. You can only serve one. On your spiritual journey, you're really just trying to find God. You're trying to get closer to yourself, your higher self, and find out who you are, correct? So on this journey, a lot of the times we go after other religions and we research different things. You might go explore Buddhism or tarot. That was the path that I took when I was trying to find God and trying to find myself, right? On this path of trying to find God, I learned a lot of this shit that we think is God is not God. It just makes us feel powerful. It makes us feel like we have some sort of miraculous power where we can do anything and we don't need nobody and we're finally in control in our life, right? But what you don't understand is, yes, there is power in you. Yes, God is within you so you can do all things. Yes, you hold power and your name hold weight. Keep that in mind. But you can't do this shit by yourself, especially when you're ignorant and don't understand certain things. So on my path to finding God, I started dibbing and dabbing in tarot and crystals and divinity, if that's even how you say it. What I discovered is, when you're doing tarot cards, you are entering into the spiritual world illegally. That means you have no protection. That means whatever the fuck want to come back with you after you open up that portal, it can come back with you. Quick story time. I was doing tarot on this girl, and I always used to pray before tarot, like, God, you know, bless these cards, allow them to speak to this person, blah, 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 because I just naturally am a helper. I'm naturally intuitive, and I naturally just want to, I'm a healer. I'm here to help people. We are here to help people. So, trying to help this girl out. She was having a bad day, bumped into her, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, you know, let's meet up, let's kick it, let's chill, let's do tarot. I'm doing her tarot cards, everything going good. I can tell she had like some things going on that was like real deep and real dark. But, you know, still doing it, still praying and all of that. Y'all, I go back to my dorm room. And when I say I was hesitant to go back in my room and I did not know why, might sound crazy saying this, but it's real. Went back in that room and there was a demon waiting for me in my room, y'all. A demon. I couldn't see it, but I can feel it so strong to the point where all I could do was drop to the knees and plead the blood of Jesus and cry out to God because it was there. After that day, them tarot cards went in the garbage. Them crystals went to the trash can because it comes a point in time where you cannot serve two masters. You're going to put God first or you're going to put something else first. And just know that that's something else that you might put first is not going to protect you in the same way that God will protect you, in the same way that pleading Jesus' blood is going to protect you. When you doing tarot and you doing divinity and you doing all that stuff, you're basically saying, I'm in control, I'm powerful, this my shit, and stuff can come back with you. It can follow you home. You opening up portals.
Now, I don't want to ruffle any feathers of the people that do tarot, but I think she got a point on that. When you open in these doors and stuff, because these doors come from certain tools, you just got to be careful. I ain't gonna say too much on it. You got to be careful. Got to be more careful.
I tell people all the time, know very clearly that one of Oshun's rules is that which is not appreciated is taken away. So, you know, we got some time. We've got a few years to get our acts together. But for those who are, you know, brand spanking new, the best way to explain what Orisha is, it is a personification that is making intelligible to human consciousness the mysteries of nature as they have been perceived for thousands of years and put in a language, both verbal and ritual, that allows us to interact with those energies. So I say to people, if I say Yemonja, I mean several things. I mean the ocean that is out there. I mean the energy of nurturance anywhere in nature. I mean a body of stories and songs and dances and costumes and everything that a number of people who serve this energy have developed over time. And I also mean a pre-human existence entity that lives in the waves of the ocean. You know? And what is amazing is that I can go to my altar and invoke and sing and dance and pray and be in communication with that ever nurturing energy that we call Yemonja. I can go to the ocean and make an offering and watch the wave come in and take it, or, you know, have the kind of miracles that they have in Brazil every year when they do the big 1 million people ritual for Yemaya. I can walk down the street and encounter her coming up the street in the person of that big-eyed sister in the blue and white dress who's taking care of, everybody's child. And I can experience her on all of those levels. I can read the stories of the lives of generations of women who manifested her energy. It is a very different world from the insanity of attempting to live in a materialist monist mode where the only things that are real is what can be counted, put in a test tube, spent, or used to beat somebody else up with. It's a totally different world. Totally different world. So I guess that's the best I can say to somebody who has no idea, because in truth, what I want to say to them is, if you want to know Yemonja, you can hear everything that I just said, but wait until you're mad at your mama, or you're depressed, or your child is pissed off with you, and then go sit on a rock at the edge of the ocean and cry, and you'll meet her. Then you'll have a direct experience of her, and you'll feel what I'm talking about.
Women are not natural. Women are spiritual. And every man that is here, I challenge you, starting with you, Mnona. You don't sleep with a woman. You sleep with your mother. Because the woman that you sleep with is able to reproduce you.
Does that sound right, Elder?
Miram Komana. Your wife is your wife, yes. But she's your mother. Because your wife will reproduce you. Kademoaka kanomirira, the feminine energy. 3 months later, after a baby girl is born, then you take the child out when the moon sits, and you show the child the half moon, and you tell the child, there is your mother. Was from that day onward, that child, female child, must understand that her cycles of life are going to be managed by the movement of the moon. That's why even in Shona, when women are there, we say, Varikumwezi. Hello?
Yeah, that's deep.
Where are they? They are with the moon. Women are therefore spiritual portals, sacred spaces that translate human beings from sperm and water into bone and marrow. This represents the purity of women. And when a country loses the virginity of girls, it has lost its spirituality. That is the cleanest space of any nation, is the girl child. And any man who walks out there destroying virginity, you are destroying spirituality and truthfulness. For the only truth we have is women. The rest are lies. And if our women can produce after truth, the world will be restored to order. It may sound like a big obligation, but in a world that seems to undermine the value of women, I come as an African traditionalist and I say, the center of the community and the nation is women. And there's no way any man can carry this on their shoulder and they abuse women. This represents the protection of women, the spirituality of women, the purity of women, the reproduction of women, the portal into life of women. The very scary diamond shape you see on my hand. The 4 grandmothers, the 2 grandmothers, 2 grandfathers who make your mother. 2 grandfathers who make your father. These 2 come together. When these 4 are together, there is the door into life itself. Sleeping with a woman is accessing this diamond-shaped space, and you need a conversation with the ancestors to who have brought this door into your hands. It's illegal, therefore, to sleep with a woman unless you have had a conversation with those that are with you. That's why in Shona we say Mangwanani, Mamukase, Makadi, Mawoko, Salimonani. I don't see you, I see them who have brought you to me and who have access into the very portal of life. I need a conversation with those that have brought you into space. That's why many people, particularly men, are dying. It's because they are ministering in temples where they are not allowed.
Temples.
They're ministering in sanctuaries where they are not allowed. Gentlemen, women are a graveyard. You either have a womb or it's a tomb.
It's a shot, right?
Dubura food in fun.
Quick thought. You know why sitting under trees and being around trees is a great idea and good for your body? Because they kill inflammation. Like, if you got any kind of stagnant energy in the body that's negative, sitting under trees alleviates that. Let's say you're dealing with high blood pressure. Sitting under trees, balance that out. Let's say you're dealing with sadness. Sitting under trees boosts your immunity and boosts your serotonin production. So in essence, sitting under trees is a healing agent for the body and the mind. That's why the prophets was instructed by God in the Bible, like Elijah was instructed to sit under trees, like sitting under the Jupiter tree. And so was Jonah. So if you pay attention to what the earth is and what nature is and what the trees are, just like grass, all of it has energy exuding from it, and we can absorb this energy, and it corrects and heals the body. That's why sitting in the trees is a good idea. So if you're feeling bad, go sit under that tree.
Okay, I was with him for a second, but he lost me on a lot of stuff he was saying. Like when he was talking about sleeping with the mother and all that. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's some people just get on the internet and do stuff for shock value, and you know, you got to decipher and determine which is which, because people just be saying anything. I don't know. Let me know what you think.
I'm a money man. I'm a money mag. I'm a money mag. I'm a money magnet. Ching, 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 ching. I'm a money magnet. I'm a money magnet. I'm a money magnet. I'm a money magnet. Ching, 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 ching.
I know some of y'all be wanting kids with certain people so bad, and it just do not happen. No matter how compatible you think y'all are, gods can't mate with humans. I know y'all read the book of Enoch. Some of y'all gods and don't even know it. Y'all ever notice as soon as those same people separate and get with new partners, they either end up pregnant or getting somebody pregnant fast as fuck? Either 2 gods made it or 2 humans did. Gods can only mate with other gods. And sometimes it's your ancestors that's not allowing y'all to mate with these certain individuals, because they don't want y'all bloodline to be infiltrated by the ops or man-made DNA. So they intervene, divine intervention, to make sure y'all don't water down the bloodline, the ancestor bloodline. They don't play about that. And don't let your ancestors have beef with the people that you dealing with ancestors, oh boy, they gonna make sure y'all don't be together. What? They gonna make sure that y'all hate each other at the end before it's over with, because it's bigger than us. It's more on a spiritual level. So yeah, y'all stay dangerous, stay sharp, and pay attention. Yeah, stay blessed.
Well, peace to the gods. What y'all feel about that? Jesus said that we were gods, lowercase g's. But, yeah, if you having trouble, conceiving, you probably want to, ponder on, meditate, pray, or whatever you whatever you do on that right there. Let me know what y'all think.
3 supernatural gifts that come with accepting your calling and being a chosen one. Keep in mind that all of these gifts can be enhanced by you getting closer to the Spirit of God and becoming more familiar with it and its characteristics. Spiritual gift number 1, increased discernment. This gift is given to us to be able to discern evil spirits in our lives that are trying to gain more access so they can hinder us from walking the path that we are supposed to be walking. Everybody has a sense of discernment, but us chosen ones have an increased sense of discernment because of how close we are to God. God is trying to make sure that we stay close to Him and stay aligned with His will for our life. It is possible for us chosen ones to be deceived, so it's important that we keep our discernment sharp by staying in His presence. Spiritual gift number 2, increase intuitive awareness. This gift is like a sixth sense that tells you that you know something that you really shouldn't be knowing. Like it's a conviction in your spirit that you know something when you really don't know you know it, but you know it. For example, you may be able to know what someone is thinking, and nobody knows really if you know what they're thinking, but you know what they're thinking. Or you're able to intuitively sense the spirit behind somebody and what they're trying to do. You're able to intuitively sense when you should say something or when you shouldn't, or when you should be somewhere or when you shouldn't be at that place at all. It's just a sixth sense that lets you know things that you really shouldn't know, but you know. Spiritual gift number 3, a lot of people already know this, the gift of empathy. You are able to feel other people's emotions as if they are your own. And it's a very beautiful thing because it helps you in your word choice when you're trying to relate to them and uplift them in that situation. So yeah, that's gift number 3. The last gift I'm talking about, spiritual gift number 4, you are a natural healer. You don't even have to do anything and you just heal people by your presence. People may walk up to you and vent their whole life story to you, and you don't even have to say anything because you're so genuine hearted and such a healer at heart that they feel heard. They're healed by how they feel heard by you, the way you intensively focus your attention to them as they vent to you. And when you do choose to speak, it's raps because you're really going to uplift somebody then, because your word choice is powerful and it's life. You are a bottle of life. You are a beautiful soul, and you are raising the vibration of this earth just by existing. Just by existing. Give yourself a pat on the back because you are a beautiful soul and God sees you and He will reward you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, if this video helps you out, gave you understanding, or helps you, encourage you in any way, show your appreciation by liking it. And if you're inspired to share the video. And also follow if you want to see more content like this, because I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'm going to be somewhere telling somebody the truth of their spirit, you see what I'm saying, the truth of God and who we're meant to be. So yeah, follow for more if you like it, and have a beautiful day.
Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. You see, in many ancient cultures and civilizations, they believed that many of the things that we call neurological disorders today were actually seen as spiritual gifts. For example, epilepsy. It was believed in many ancient cultures that those who had what we refer to as epilepsy actually had a heightened sensitivity to the magnetic field of the planet. So when they had seizures, it was a sign of more of their abilities awakening, and it was a sign that the magnetic field and frequency of the earth was shifting. Many of those who have what we refer to as autism, it was believed that they naturally possessed the ability to see through illusions and past the veil of confusion. They naturally had the ability to transcend the five senses. You see, and you become to realize that a lot of what we refer to as disorders or problems today stem from our own ignorance and inability to actually comprehend what is actually occurring.
It's crazy that he said that, because I've always believed that seizures were somehow spiritual. Like how they just come out of nowhere and then they just like, they kirk out, like, you know what I mean? Like they just be, I'm like, yo, it's either a force that is not supposed to be agreeing with them, or it's like something letting them know, something is coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that way about like a lot of things, like anxiety attack. Like anxiety is your spirit letting you know something ain't right. You understand? Just let me know if you agree or disagree.
8 years old, baby. How did you know how to pray and meditate like that?
Let me
Or
tell you
like 11?
something. So my grandfather was a preacher. I didn't know what meditation was. I was just mimicking what he would do. And even when I would go to his house, he would sit in silence. He would have music playing. And this man was still, eyes closed. And it's almost like he was in a trance. Now remember, I asked my mom, what granddaddy be doing? At one point I was going to ask him, granddaddy, you're right. She said he meditates. And so I was like, what is meditation? And she said, you just kind of sit, free your mind of anything that you're thinking about, and you just release. And I said, well, mama, what do granddaddy meditate on? She said, when I was little, he would pray and then he would meditate on the scripture. He also taught us whatever we wanted to do. If we had an idea, meditate on that. And so with that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna meditate on trying to find my brother, because I want to know what it feels like to be the little sister, not the big sister.
Yeah.
And so when it came to fruition, I was like, come on now, it is definitely something to this.
Here are a few things that I teach my kids as a spiritualist. Number one, boundaries. I even teach them boundaries with each other. I even respect their boundaries. Like if we go out to get donuts and I look at one of my kids' donuts and be like, ooh, they look good. Can I have some? And they say no. Like I just respect it and be like, okay, yeah, you're right. I should have got my own. Number two, I do not teach my kids to be people pleasers. If they don't want to wave to you or hug you, I don't care whatever age you are, they don't have to. This also goes into people pleasing. My kids are not servants. I even watch how many times like I ask them to do something for me, and I get up and do it my damn self. Also, my kids are comfortable asking me to do things too. They'll be like, Mama, can you grab a juice for me? Mama, can you go in the kitchen and get this for me? And I do it. Next, if you do not like me and you talk about me and you talk down on my name, okay, and gossip and just do me dirty, you will not have a relationship with my kids. You will not see my kids. You cannot come pick up my kids. You cannot come visit my kids. You can't take them to the park. You can't, none of that. Next, I teach my kids that being vocal is not having an attitude. Speaking up about how you feel is not wrong. So I allow my kids to tell me how they feel, even if I do not like it. Lastly, I allow my kids to be themselves and to step fully into who they are, their personality, all of that, without taking away from them because it makes me feel uncomfortable. My son is very playful. He plays a lot. He's very goofy, and sometimes that can be annoying. But I check myself before I tell him, go sit down or stop doing that or stop being goofy. My daughter, she has a very loud personality. Also, she's very blunt and she's very honest. Before I tell her you being smart, like I just have to respect what she's saying and how she expresses it. But that's what I teach my kids as a spiritualist.
Basically, she's saying that she treat her kids like they grown. Basically. So, I always found that concept interesting because all kids are not the same. And yeah, you got to treat kids individually. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you have 10 kids, all of them are going to behave differently. So you got to treat them differently based upon behavior. Let me know. Let me know if am I am I crazy?
You told me before you meditate. What do you concentrate on when you meditate? A $5 bill or?
No, I wouldn't use my powers on such a small amount. As a matter of fact, a lady in my congregation wrote me a note some time ago saying, "Dear Reverend Ike, someone owes me $300. Please pray that this person will give me my $300. And I replied to her, "Lady, I wouldn't waste my prayers on $300. The same faith that it takes to get $300 could bring a few million as well. Because if I prayed for you to get $300, very soon that will be exhausted and you'll be back again wanting me to pray for another $300.
Okay, friends, I had an epiphany and I want to share with you guys, and y'all can tell me if I'm crazy or not. So I think I might have figured out the whole everything is conscious and everything is connected thing. And the reason I say it like that is because everyone says that. I've said it a lot of times. We have this intuitive feeling that everything is alive, everything's connected. You know, all the different psychic experiences you have throughout your life and all the synchronicities. It's easy to see that there's magic behind the scenes, that everything is connected and everything seems to be alive and conscious. But people say that. Do they actually know what it means? I know I didn't before today. So check this out. I've been doing a lot of deep diving into this, like how is everything connected? Because I know there's more to the story. So I was reading Walter Russell's book, The Universal One, and he talks about the fact that everything is constituted of light. But more importantly, that light is actually from the source. It's from God. It's from our creators. That light is actually the primal energy from God, okay? Now, made me think about Robert Monroe's books, where he, on his furthest astral exploration, went to the edge of the conceivable universe. And there he found something called the emitter. The emitter was a projector. His words, it was a projector that was projecting the universe, the dream, as he called it. Now, he was able to later refine this and figure out that these are holograms, that it was a holographic type of an experience, that there was a emitter that was projecting the holographic universe, and that we are all holograms. This is outlined in detail in the CIA Gateway report, where they break down what a hologram is. The holographic principles of the universe is actually in theoretical science. Has been studied pretty extensively. There's a lot of very, very smart people that do believe that we are in a holographic universe and that we are all essentially holograms, and that our brain basically just decodes it and projects this illusion of these holograms, right? But everything is holograms. Now, what is a hologram? A hologram is when you take a holographic film or a plate and you shine light through it, and it turns it into a 3D image. But you have to have a light source. Every hologram must have a light source. And then I was like, boom, oh my God. So if there's a holographic plate or film, what if that is our space-time fabric of reality, and then a light shines through it and creates the holograms, the 3D holograms that comprises everything, you know, all of this stuff, everything you see is made of a hologram. That means that the light that's shining through that plate that creates the holograms, that light is coming straight from God. That is source creation. That light is conscious. That light is God. So if the light shines through the plate and creates everything that we see is a hologram, but everything we see is a hologram that's constituted of conscious light. Therefore, everything would be conscious. Everything would be conscious. That's how people say rocks are conscious and water is conscious. And we're like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's because rocks, water, plants, humans, every single thing you see is made of the same light source. And that light source is conscious. That light source is God. Now it makes sense. Now I can see how everything is connected, because everything comes from the same holographic plate. Everything has the same, you trace it back to the original source. The original source is going to be that light beam that goes through the emitter that creates this holographic universe. So everything is connected and everything is conscious, because everything is constituted of conscious light energy. Boom. Now I get it. It makes sense. I'm going to have to refine this a little bit. That was just me word vomiting all over TikTok land. So I appreciate you listening to me, guys, and I do value your opinion. So let me know, what do you think? Does this make sense to you? Have we figured it out? Are we getting one step closer to realizing that we are just in the mind of God? This is just a dream, and that this is just a holographic universe, a holographic projection, but that the light source is conscious. It is the pure primal energy of God itself. Wow, that's pretty cool. That means everybody, good, bad, ugly, evil, angelic, every single thing that you see, everything that exists in this universe is made of God light, is made of the same stuff. Everything. And that's what Walter Russell taught us 100 years ago. And that's what Nikola Tesla told him we weren't ready for. Is that part of this story? I don't know, guys. Whew, I like it. Let me know. What do you guys think? Have a beautiful day. Peace.
It gets to a point because I'm not a hologram. Like, it's just, I don't think, you will hurt yourself trying to understand who and what God is, because God is everything. When we talking about omnipotent, I mean omnipotent, but understand God is in us.
Yes, it's true. Every race has melanin, but not every race has the same type of melanin. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the 3 different melanins that exist inside of the human race. First, we have eumelanin. What is eumelanin? Eumelanin is a natural pigment found in your body. It gives color to your skin, your hair, and your eyes, but it's deeper than just color. So who has eumelanin? People who look like me or darker, or who has like the same shade or just a little bit lighter than I am. We have eumelanin. I can go by saying that the people who are from Africa, they have eumelanin, but then I would be added in white people as well, because there are also white people from Africa, but they do not have eumelanin. So I'm going to make this short and simple. The people who has eumelanin is people who look like me or darker. Now, what makes eumelanin so powerful? It is our natural sunscreen. It protects us against UV radiation. It can absorb and store light, heat, and electromagnetic energy. Eumelanin enhances spiritual awareness, intuition, and connection to cosmic intelligence. Pheomelanin. What is pheomelanin and who has it? Pheomelanin is also another type of melanin found in humans. It is different from eumelanin. So who has pheomelanin? The Caucasian European race. They have pheomelanin, not eumelanin. Pheomelanin offers far less protection from UV rays. Eumelanin holds more energetic and electromagnetic intelligence, while pheomelanin is more physical and limited in conductivity. The last melanin I'm getting ready to break down is very powerful. I need you guys to pay close attention. This powerful melanin is called neuromelanin. What is neuromelanin and who has it? Neuromelanin is a powerful and a mysterious type of melanin found in the brain. Yes, the brain, not the skin. It's deeply connected to consciousness, memory, and higher awareness. So, who carries neuromelanin? People who have eumelanin. The neuromelanin is linked to the third eye, the pineal gland, and the Kundalini awakening. Neuromelanin absorbs heavy metals and toxins, protecting the brain from degeneration. It also plays a role in transmitting and storing electrical energy inside the brain. We talked about the skin melanin, but the neuromelanin, that's powerful. They study it, they hide it, they suppress it, because they know it's the key to the real you.
I'm a little offended because I'm a little lighter than that, but I have melanin and neuromelanin. So yeah, you're gonna have to, don't exclude the light skinned people because they light skinned. That's not fair. We don't want to be colorists.
There's a difference between love and sex.
Okay. Is there a difference between love and sex? Well, apparently, let's look at both aspects. Let's look at the male aspect of this, because obviously we have mastered the technique of it being different. But when we look at the woman's aspect, pretty soon, if it gets to a certain harmonious flow, you know what I'm saying? It usually, the end result is it turns into love. You know what I'm saying? It turns into love. Ultimately, we would say that in the primordial realm, sex was one of the expressions of love. It is the expression of love. You see what I'm saying? But here goes again, because we're talking new science. Even when we talk about love, we can't box this thing into one paradigm, which is saying it's unfair to really say what love is. For the mere fact that love can be a series, sometimes so emotional, and a form of insanity, if you ever really, this shit really hits you the right way. Two, you can't box it in and say that love is this dogmatic principle that we all must measure things by. Love is beyond measure. You see what I'm saying? It's beyond measure. So this also means to say there is no limits on how you love. I don't want to feel, we got to break it down to the least common denominator. I don't want to sound philosophical, where I get so much that it starts sounding like, you know, this poetic aspect. But what I mean is try to understand, because I'm trying to be, I don't want to also sound like an author, like I'm some kind of Dr. Phil that's going to give you some straight up, some straight up type of Mennonite, Calvinist, Baptist, moralistic jargon, all wrapped into some common sense.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wasn't in a fiery furnace, bro. They had to burn off things in their life to go to a new level.
You believe them stories in the Bible?
I'm giving you the allegory.
I'm saying, do you believe them?
Jonah was not in the belly of a whale. He was being swallowed up by his circumstances. Adam and Eve is not A-D-A-M. The first atom was a light, A-T-O-M. The prefix to darkness is evening, Eve. God took atom and evening, light and darkness, brought that together to make mankind. See, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Daniel went in the lion's den.
Now that makes sense. Ain't nobody never make that shit make sense like that.
Daniel wasn't in the lion's den. He was facing many predators in his life.
Well. That concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Give this video a big thumbs up. Shout out to all the creators. Go like, follow them, and comment on their videos. And as always, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace. Be blessed. Be out. Thank you for being a real one, for being a chill one, for hitting the sub button. Thank you for showing me love. Yeah, y'all some good vibes.